Mike and Michelle's story starts long before the couple met, married, and eventually started their operations together. Both grew up in the ag industry, but both of them didn't know that farming was where they would end up.
So I grew up just down the road from here. I live about a mile from where my home farm is, and ever since I was a little boy, I just would be all about farm. In the sandbox, just playing with toys, and just knew that I was going to be farming. That's been my goal, was to be farming. So I grew up very active on the farm, loading pigs early in the morning, out riding the tractors, hauling manure when I was probably too young to be hauling manure, just loving the life on the farm. And that's how my passion started, was just by living it and growing up doing it. And graduated from high school, went down to Northwest Missouri State, the best part of theirs. I came back with my pretty wife, and we came back and we came up here and we got started farming together.
So my story starts in central Missouri, where my parents were also farmers. My dad was a farmer, my mom was a school teacher, and I, unlike Mike, wasn't as thrilled about the chore part. So we had a farrowing house and what I would just call lot hogs. We raised them, fattened them up, and then shipped them off. And I have memories. His were fun, mine were work, of going out and trying to get those pigs into a trailer and climbing a lot of fences. And anyway, I thought, I'm going to go get a college degree and move to Kansas City. That's what I thought I was going to do. And so I went to Northwest Missouri State, and then I met Mike, and he's a farmer. And so I love conquers all, right? And so we moved here, and I worked in town and helped on the side until we had our kids, and now we're all working together here.
Michelle recalls one defining moment when their focus on environmental practices and sustainability really changed for their operation.
We got a lot of wind. It can be windy in Iowa. That's something I wasn't used to in Missouri. We had terraces, but it felt like we didn't have the wind, and I think it's just because we have a lot of hills. But anyway, we had a terrible wind that brought like half an inch of dirt into our porch, like enclosed porch. And I remember cleaning it off, and it was beautiful black dirt, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be. And I remember cleaning that up, and your mom came and helped us do that too. Yeah. And then not that long afterwards, it happened again. And I think that's when my eyes were maybe just open to the fact that, is there a better way to do this so that we're not getting this in our homes? If it's in our homes, it's in our ditches, it's in somebody else's field. So I was always very supportive of any way to keep the ground where it belonged.
Yeah, so we used to do custom manure hauling, and we hauled out several thousand million gallons, millions of gallons. And we started with just the splash and cover discs, and then we tried going to the Edder loaded disturbance, and then we moved to a different type that had a shank, and now we've moved to basically the VTI style, and we've implemented the low disturbance, so we're putting the manure on every 30 inches, and then we follow that with the strip till in the spring, freshen up the strip, mixing the manure better, and plant right into the strip. We tried planting no-till into the manure strips one year without doing a strip till machine. This is before we had made the changeover. And we had stretches of corn out in the field that were blank because it was planted in too hot of manure, and it just fried it. So
a lot of live and learn through this. That's any type of farming now, really.
Producing pork has a different meaning for everyone, but for Mike and Michelle, that's a pretty clear idea of what this means to them.
Being an Iowa pork producer is kind of being a link in the chain. It's a whole system to get the food from the farm to the plate. So we're just one link in that chain that puts food on the table for people.
And we used to think that really all we wanted to do was our job in the best way that we could, and that nobody else really cared, about that job. But we've come to realize that the country cares how their food gets from the beginning of the chain to the end, and that if we don't tell how we do that and our best practices, somebody's going to do it for us.